Lily.
Yeah. Hmm?
See.
What's happening to me?
Looks like they're in need of immediate counseling. Just one final push.
I just don't know.
I need to be careful. I think they'll be okay now.
I'm okay now.
Are you okay? I need to be careful. I think they'll be okay now.
Thank you. I'm sorry for the bother.
Treatment candidate detected. Starting mental counseling. Just one final push. I think they'll be okay now.
Did you save me?
I see. see. I think I get it. I see. I see. I see. I see. I think I get it.
Well then, let's get going. Shall we?
Special Supervisor Hal Sion. Identification code confirmed. This public trial will commence shortly.
In this trial, only myself and the supervisors have the authority to make statements. Along with Mr. Tazaki and the witness, who have been granted permission to do so. Albert Rumford died on December 17th at his home in the Research District. Time of death presumed to be 7:55. Cause of death assumed to be murder. Allow me to give an overview of the incident, based on the evidence brought to light. According to the scan of the body that was discovered, the cause of death was a puncture wound from a roughly 23-centimeter long blade. The murder weapon has not been recovered. The corpse was discovered in the laboratory at 9 on December 17th. It vanished shortly after. The lab access registry indicates that Keith Tazaki was the only individual to enter the lab after midnight on December 17. There is no evidence the access registry has been tampered with. Albert's body was later recovered in the secret underground room. The room was accessible via the bedroom and the lab, but the entrance was cleverly hidden. Someone with close ties to the professor may well have known about the underground room. Next, let me describe what took place at the scene of the crime on December 17th. Keith Tazaki arrived at Albert's house shortly before 8. The lab door doesn't open until 8 exactly, so he waited by the entrance. However, Mr. Tazaki entered the room as soon as the door opened at 8, and proceeded to stab the professor to death with the knife he'd brought with him. Then, when Ms. Simmons arrived, he hid within the house, and while she was distracted, moved the corpse to the underground room. He then placed the body in the biological pod, and exited via the bedroom to the hall. He then likely destroyed the access panel to cover his tracks. Based on the evidence, this reconstruction has an 82.2% plausibility rating. The odds that Mr. Tazaki is responsible are overwhelmingly high.
For crying out loud. The only reason I'm in the frame is because you guys haven't found anyone else who fits the bill. That sound about right? Whatever. Let's say I did it. What was my motive?
We can hypothesize. However, we do not place any value in motive. Who is responsible? How was the crime carried out? These are the crucial questions. Very well. Today, we formally indict Keith Tazaki as a suspect in this murder case. You shall be dealt with in accordance with the laws of the city. Supervisor, we assume you have no objections?
I saw it. I know he's not responsible. I need to show proof that someone else is the culprit. Eustace, I've spent every waking hour of the last few days investigating this case. The truth is still out there, buried. Before you indict him, please, just give me a little more time.
Supervisor Sion, this is a public trial. A vast number of this city's residents are observing proceedings via Augmented Dreaming. Your duty is not to fuel their unease and anxiety with theatrics, but to protect and preserve their peaceful slumber. Am I making myself clear?
Maybe Eustace doesn't want me unveiling the truth.
Ultimately, the citizens will determine whether your claims are truthful.
I think someone else was responsible for the crime. Allow me to explain. The professor was conducting research on a specialized humanoid in the secret lab. This humanoid, the marionette, is known as Cystelia. They are the one responsible for his murder.
Scanning of the underground lab was completed before the trial began. But we found no trace of this marionette you describe. Formless ghosts don't warrant discussion here, in the tribunal. I suppose you can provide us with the evidence to prove the marionette's culpability.
Proof that the missing marionette killed the professor. I ought to be able to prove my case with all the evidence I've gathered. 4 of the rooms in the professor's house are key to solving this case. The lab, the scene of the crime. The secret underground room. The bedroom with the mysterious puzzle. The hall connecting to the entrance. Allow me to explain the irregularities we found in each of those rooms. It's time to unveil the truth we discovered at the heart of this case.
You've got plenty of info in your investigation log. Just explain it all step by step.
Go for it, mister! Cross-reference the relevant information you found in each location!
What did you see that might be connected to the culprit's movements?
The body found in the underground room.
Tell us what you found there.
The marionette that disappeared from the underground room. The lab with the hidden door.
What does the room have to do with the culprit?
This isn't the piece of the puzzle I'm looking for. The source of the shriek in the bedroom.
You're almost there. There must be some trace of the culprit in here, too.
The corrupted access panel registry. 5 inexplicable points relating to the case. I can prove the marionette's existence and culpability with the evidence I submitted. Allow me to go over what happened at the crime scene on the morning of the incident.
It appears many of the citizens are in agreement with you. They're expecting you to uncover the truth in your account. Very well. I will permit you to explain the course of events in the reconstruction space.
Hal, Supervisor Sion. You'll now be transferred to a reconstruction based on the details in your investigation log. You will then reconstruct the particulars of the incident. Proceed with care. You'll only get one chance to win the citizens over.
Elaine, no need to go freaking him out like that. Don't get so worked up. Just focus on keeping your story straight. That's all there is to it.
Initiating crime scene simulation. Let us begin.
Pull both handles outwards to enter the reconstruction space, mister.
Is this some kind of virtual reality? It looks just like the prof's house.
By the way, Hal, the simulation system is the result of your ability, memory diving, being patched into the AD system. Your hypotheses based on the evidence you found will play out within the simulation. So take a deep breath and let the citizens hear your description of what happened.
Here goes. This is the secret basement room found hidden beneath the professor's house. Its existence was even kept hidden from the Administration Bureau. This is where the professor carried out his research on the marionette Cystelia. The marionette's nature is closer to that of a variant than that of a human. It appears they were an attempt by the professor to artificially construct a variant. They were here until the morning of the incident. Why are they missing now, you ask? Allow me to reconstruct the marionette's movements on that fateful morning. Cystelia awoke at 7 that morning. Yes, at the exact time the clock tower bell rang out. The marionette likely intended to harm the professor from the outset. The proof lies in the fact that the murder weapon is missing from this room. So, what did Cystelia use to murder the professor with? Time to trace the culprit's movements. They left with the biosphere.
But how do you explain the chest wound if that was the murder weapon? I'm betting the marionette took a weapon and left the room of its own accord.
Next, the marionette headed for the lab, where the professor was eventually killed. That day, the lab was shut, and admittance to the lab was strictly regulated. However, access to the lab from the underground room is possible without alerting anyone. Time to examine the door and move to the lab. Excuse me? So, this is... the marionette Cystelia. Headed to the scene of the crime via the door leading to the lab.
Well, that definitely explains why they weren't in the access registry.
There is a plant that grows in response to the presence of ion particles in the lab. The faint trace of particles given off by the marionette triggered the plant's abnormal growth.
You often see plants like that out in the eastern desert. You can see how bad contamination is getting based on how the plant's doing. Pretty neat.
I'm sure the professor must have been startled by the intruder. Cecilia approached the professor and attacked him with the weapon. The professor was hit on the head with the biosphere and died of his injuries.
Yeah, that seems way out of line with the results from the corpse scan.
The orientation of the corpse matches up perfectly with your account.
That's how they used the hidden door to access the lab and kill the professor. The door to the lab was later unlocked at 8, when Mr. Tozaki discovered the crime scene. Cecilia then fled through the open door. It's highly likely that the marionette is still in possession of the murder weapon. Their whereabouts are still unknown.
It certainly seems plausible, but what about the professor's body?
I haven't finished my explanation just yet. The professor's murderer and the person who hid his body were two different people. So, who hid the professor's body, you ask? That was you, Keith Tozaki.
What?
Let's reconstruct the events of that morning after you spotted the marionette. After the marionette fled, Mr. Tozaki was left alone at the scene. He didn't want anyone to get the impression he was involved in the incident. So he quickly examined the scene and hatched a cover-up plan to hide the body. But then, someone entirely unexpected appeared. The professor's friend, Martha Simmons. Being spotted would sink his cover-up plan, so he hid and waited to see what would happen. In the end, the place he chose to hide was... I'll choose somewhere I won't be seen. Keith Tozaki headed for... behind the door to the underground room that had been left ajar.
That checks out. You'd have a hard time finding someone there.
And that's why there was no sign of him when Ms. Simmons discovered the professor's body. But he still wasn't in a position to hide the body. He had to divert Ms. Simmons' attention away from the body. With that objective in mind, he headed for the bedroom. After discovering the body, Martha Simmons heard a noise coming from the bedroom and left the crime scene. The source of that noise was... I think they'll understand straight away if I actually play them the sound. Keith Tozaki. You used the gramophone to draw Martha Simmons' attention.
You're right. It definitely does sound like a shriek.
And that's how he lured her out of the lab and into the bedroom. He passed through the underground room again and headed back to the lab for the body. By hiding the corpse, he was leaving only minimal traces of the crime at the scene. Once he arrived in the underground room, he placed the body in the empty biological pod. After that, he left the bedroom and headed for the hall. He moved swiftly to ensure he went undetected. He destroyed the panel using his prosthetic left arm. While Ms. Simmons was looking for the missing body, he snuck out through the entrance door. That's how he escaped from the crime scene. That sums up my account regarding the missing body. That is everything that happened on the morning of the incident. Keith Tozaki may have attempted a cover-up of the incident at the crime scene, but he is not responsible for the professor's murder. No. The culprit is the professor's very own research subject, Cystelia. And they're still out there, somewhere in the city.
That was an exquisite reconstruction. It's as if you saw the events with your own two eyes. We accept the supervisor's testimony. We hereby indict Cystelia as a suspect in the murder of Professor Albert Rumford. Use of firearms is approved. Supervisors, your orders are to terminate the suspect on site.
That concludes this public trial.
Eustace.
That was a decent effort. Things turned out a little differently than I'd expected. But still, I'm impressed. There were some contradictions here and there, but you appear to have satisfied the residents well enough. Indeed, truth is beside the point. What matters above all is maintaining peace for everyone here in the city. Simply earning the confidence of the people is reward enough. I'm counting on you to continue serving the city and preserve its peaceful slumber. Well, without further ado, in time you would have found out anyway. So allow me to tell you in advance. We were aware of the marionette Cecilia's existence.
Huh? You knew about them?
The marionette is the result of a joint research project between the professor and I. We built it 12 years ago to use in an experiment. The marionette is a copy of a variant that was cooperating with our research at the time. They were also used in the experiment Albert carried out 3 years ago. Likewise in the experiments to test and refine augmented dreaming functionality.
So it was just another lab rat, like me and the others.
You could say so. It was put into the care of the Bureau after the experiment. However, when it awoke, it slaughtered the officers guarding it and went into hiding. Bafflingly, it returned once again to the Professor.
You played dumb because it's a confidential matter in your dealings with the other cities. I'm guessing you knew about this too, Director General?
I did.
And the missing data in the underground lab?
Yes, that was my order. The marionette is a strictly classified asset. It must be kept secret from the residents.
The relevant dossier is classified, but I've granted you access. The marionette is a threat to the city. You must not approach them. Destroy them, before speaking to it, before even making eye contact.
I'm sorry about that.
If you keep on frowning like that, you'll get wrinkles, you know? Besides, we know your hands are tied.
I wish you'd said something to us. At least then we might have been more useful.
That's true.
Listen to him, getting his sulk on. It's only because he looks up to you so much.
You did the right thing, you know. The marionette is still out there on the loose, after murdering the professor. Ideally, it's something we shouldn't even have to hide from the residents. Anyway, you did well, Hal. I'm impressed. It's hard to believe this is your first case.
Hey, miss! I worked my socks off, too! How about a little compliment from me?
Lily, it's too soon to celebrate. We still haven't solved the case after all. The professor's murderer is hiding somewhere here in the city. We could have another murder on our hands, if the marionette feels like it.
Looks like the lockdown will have to continue for the time being.
Look, what I don't get is, why did that guy try and cover up the professor's death? There's definitely something fishy going on.
Ash got into an argument with Keith at the hotel.
Director General, do you mind if I duck out early? I'm feeling kinda exhausted.
Same old Ash. I suppose it won't hurt. Go on. I'll send you the classified file later. You did good today, Hal. The investigation is important, but make sure you keep an eye on how the city is doing, okay? After all, counseling is a vital part of any supervisor's role. Go on, Hal. You should head home too. Hal, the fact that the marionette is out there somewhere is a real concern.
Let's go. What the?
Something's wrong. This wasn't here this morning.
Freeze! Step away from Maya.
Hal, go ahead and shoot me. But first, just keep holding my hands like this for a moment. Don't you recognize me? Help me.
You're... The marionette looked just like Maya for a moment back there. So, who actually killed the professor then? Lily. I wonder where he's gone.
What were they doing in Maya's room? Look at her brain activity. It's so agitated. I bet they did something to her.
Lily, I don't think that's what's going on. I think Maya is inside the marionette.
Hal, that's crazy. Look, Maya is right here.
You saw too, right? Their movements. They were just like Maya's.
You thought so too, right? I was so sure it was Maya. But... Aren't you going to let Elaine and Ash know?
Let's just keep an eye on things until the morning.
What's this?
Is that the professor's blood? Is this the murder weapon?
Hal?
I want to solve this on my own, before anyone else gets involved. I'll keep this knife hidden somewhere safe. Personality construct. But isn't Maya inside it right now?
Today, the city falls. Nightmare becomes reality. No one can stop it. After all. This was all decided long, long ago.
Why that dream again? They said the city would fall. Why? Because the professor died?
Hal, what's wrong?
I don't know. I just have this bad feeling. Let's head to the clock tower. Yeah. The city seems calm.
Hal.
Since when did you...
I just woke up. This place never changes.
Are you... Maya?
Hal, you've gotten taller.
Maya... You shouldn't be outside right now.
Do you think I killed the professor too? It wasn't me. When I woke up, he was already dead.
I know.
How did you figure out it was me so quickly? Even I'm not sure who I am sometimes.
Maya?
I haven't felt right ever since I woke up. Do you think the had some kind of plan for the city? Or maybe whoever killed him was planning something?
I don't know. The only thing I'm sure about is the fact that if we don't stop it happening...
You're right. There's definitely a way.
Can you predict the future? Let's head home.
Hal!
Maya, this way!
Hal, at this rate, you'll end up getting caught too.
Maya!
The world was never supposed to change. So this long line gonna be challenged. We found the doors away, cause it's for our health. Chances left behind, but another shell had a one lost that machine. I don't know where it goes. Kiss goodbye to the love. So this is the one thing that I can do.
Hal, you have to get home right now. Maya, she's